lightfastness. Is that the word? Lightfastness? You may have heard the term. If you're an artist, somebody may have told you that you need to use light fast materials. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about what light fastness is first. And here's the definition I found. Light fastness refers to a pigment's ability to resist fading or discoloration when exposed to light, specifically sunlight or ultraviolet light. So what does that mean? It means, depending on the medium that you use, over time, your artwork may start to fade. Is that important to you? Maybe, maybe not. If your intention is to sell your work, then you're probably more concerned about your materials being light fast than if you're going to hang it in your house, give it to family members for free, and eventually and over time, it can start to fade. Now, I realized, and when I thought about this initially, I was like, I mean, who cares? You know, you've got something, you're making it now. In 30 years, is it going to look the same? In 50 years, is it going to look the same? And does that really matter? But the bottom line is we have so many different materials now that we use to create art that it's probably, particularly if you're going to sell your work, more of an issue now than it's ever been. Now, we know that we have paintings that go back to the old masters who were painted hundreds of years ago. Mostly, I guess, or maybe even all oil painting. And don't quote me on that, but that's my speculation, is that oil was the medium that people used. And so those oil paintings certainly have faded over time. There are people whose sole business is the restoration of artwork, okay, that has been around for a long time and that has begun to fade over a period of years. And it's a very delicate and tedious and meticulous process to keep those paintings or get those paintings back to the way they looked when they were originally painted without doing damage to them. So I get that. We know that there's artwork that goes back centuries in caves, on the walls, in the pyramids, in other places, in the jungle. People have found on rocks that there is artwork that's been there for centuries, all right? But back to the idea of selling your artwork. You may want to consider what material you're using, and you can look for a light fastness rating for your watercolor paints, your oil paints, your colored pencils. I recently joined the colored pencil, a colored pencil Society of America, I think it is. And one of the neat things that you get with your membership is a list of light fast ratings for tons of different brands of colored pencils. And so, believe it or not, people do very serious artwork with colored pencils. And so they want to be assured that if they are selling their artwork, that it's going to have some level of longevity. And so you can get a light fast rating on them. Now, I'm not sure about things like pastels because I haven't looked them up, but you can certainly look up and find out if there are light fast ratings, and then other materials. I can tell you for sure, and I've seen people do their own testing on markers, acrylic markers, alcohol markers, water-based markers. They begin to fade and lose color very early on, very quickly. So if you are using those materials, markers in particular, to create your artwork, and many people do, and you want to sell that artwork, then my suggestion to you is that you find a way to reproduce that artwork and not sell the original, because the color is going to fade rather quickly, that you reproduce it and sell the reproductions. And people are perfectly willing. You know, people have always bought posters and hung them on the wall that have been reproductions of artwork. So you certainly can put your artwork on other things and sell that artwork, and stay away from selling the originals. Now, other things, the colored pencils, you can certainly look at the light fast rating for your pencils, for your watercolors, for your acrylics, for your oil paints, and then make a decision. They do sell museum quality, what they call museum quality glass, that you can use in your framing process if you get it professionally framed, that protects whatever is in the frame from UV light. All right. And you can also now, because I actually purchased a frame with it, Michaels does with the UV protectant acrylic that you can use also in your framing if you don't want to or are unable to spend the money for the museum quality glass. And so that is a way to protect your artwork. The other thing is, if you're selling one of these artworks, you should, I feel I'm obligated to let the purchaser know that over time these things may fade. So you want them to take certain precautions. One of them is not hanging the artwork where it will be in contact with direct sunlight, because that will immediately begin to fade the colors. Now, some people may not care, but you should let them know. You can, again, find the light fast ratings. If you look at tubes of watercolor paint, I know best, and I'm learning with acrylic, you'll see the rating may be on the container, the tube of paint. And you can find out how high the rating goes. There are several organizations that rate pigments, and you can find out where your particular medium falls within that. Now, if you're like me and you like to do mixed media, it's probably much of the artwork that I'm creating, rather than sell it directly, I will probably reproduce it, because I may be using some things that are light fast and some things that aren't. And so just to be on the safe side, I would reproduce it and then sell the reproductions. So if you didn't know about light fastness, now you do, and you can decide whether or not it's important to you, whether it makes a difference in the artwork you're doing. Like I said, if your artwork is just for you like me, I have a lot of mine hung around in here in my little studio, it doesn't matter so much, all right? But certainly, if you're selling things, you have an obligation to give the person that's purchasing your work the best possible situation. Now, does everybody know about light fastness? Does everybody care? I have no idea. I know a lot of artists. I've never had a discussion with any of them about light fast ratings. Actually, maybe I'll bring it up and see what they say, or if they even know. Okay, I don't think this is something that people have always done or known about. I don't know how long the organizations have been putting out the ratings, but that's something that you can individually follow up on. I thought I would just kind of give you an introduction to the general topic. I am certainly no art expert, but I'm just passing on the knowledge that I've gained, and hopefully it'll help someone out there. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this material, consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. I'm going to be doing something else arty pretty soon. See ya.